Okay, I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. Can we begin with roll call?
Senator Bergera,
Present.
Senator Gasso, Senator Bevel, Senator Morris,
Present.
Senator Ontiveros, Senator Otiocha, Senator Lubale, Senator Arantes, Senator Sneed, Senator Coburn, Senator Seeley, Senator Goldthorpe, Senator Yezik, Senator Miota, Senator Meyer, Senator Taylor, Senator Ramirez, Senator Hawley, Senator Sita, Senator Orajaka, Senator Smith Marcel, Senator Szilard, Senator Williams, Senator Larsenair, Senator Guerra, Senator Lopez, Senator Benacourt, Senator Flowerny, Senator Munoz, Senator Sepulveda, Senator Parchman. Here. All right. President Okafor, Vice President Page,
Here.
Treasurer Barnes, Chief of Staff Burns,
For those on Zoom, we haven't met quorum.
36, including keyboard.
So right now we're trying to count how many people because we need 2/3 of the official Senate to count
So we need one.
to hold a meeting. We can't technically swear in a senator
No.
because the meeting hasn't started.
Okay, thanks for letting us know.
We can't. Nope. Sorry.
So for those on Zoom, we decided to hold an informal meeting to be respectful of our speakers, our guest speaker and those here for open forum. So technically anyone can participate in the meeting and they don't have to be sworn in.
Okay, that sounds good to me, and I'm on my way to be in person.
Sorry about that. Let's see here. My name is Brad Standerfer. I'm the Assistant Chief of Police here at UT Tyler. We were so graciously given back parking this year, so we are back to owning this. When I first got here, we had parking in the police department. It moved out, and now it's come back to us. So we are working to try to do a lot of things to help improve parking on campus, and we'll talk a little bit about some of the assistance we could use from you all moving forward to really make this work well. But first, I just wanted to start with just some basic stats from the beginning of this year regarding parking on campus. So when we look at student costs, it's $112.50 a year. Employee cost is $150 a year. When you compare across several different institutional police departments throughout UT, this is actually one of the lower ones throughout UT system. And we're trying to keep those costs related to student parking fees as low as possible, right? But we also, as I'm sure you all, no one has complaints about the first few weeks of school or anything like that about parking on campus. We always want to make improvements, and in order to make improvements, it has to be funded. So we're going to talk a little bit about what we have done so far this year. So we've sold almost 1,700 employee permits, about 4,500 commuter student permits, 605 resident students, for a grand total of 6,860 permits. And I think the biggest communication we need to make to our student body is our desire is not to write citations. Our desire is to not play I got you with silly citations. It's purchase your permit. The permit goes a long way. Yes, it costs money, but it also provides us information. It gives us your license plate, your contact information, your name when you log into T2 and put that information in there. And so if your car got broken into, it makes it a lot easier for us to make contact with you. If we need you to move your car, like a couple weekends ago, we had a couple cars parked in lot 6 we needed moved. We can get in contact with you to do that. And then also, if for some reason you showed up missing or we needed to try to find you, we have your license plate and we can start trying to track down those things to find you. So far this semester, we've written 548 citations issued. What do you think those citations are mostly for? No permits. And so what is not widely known at this point, and we're working with students as they reach out, and I would encourage them that if they've received a citation and they have appealed that citation for no permit, not parking in reserved, but for no permit, we are willing to reduce that citation to a warning if they are willing to purchase their permit that same day. Say a student's $50, gets our end result of trying to get permits sold to our student body. We also wrote 97 warnings. Those are usually at the beginning, first 2 weeks. We're steady trying to encourage people to buy permits. We've communicated several times via email out to our student body as well to make sure that we're getting the information they need. Our biggest issue, aside from the parking permit, is obviously parking in reserved and then parking along curbs. I'm not sure if any of you have tried to traverse lot 7 the first couple weeks of school, but they like to park around the curbs there at the top, and you can't get through there. So just communicating that information to them. Lot 7 is by, anyone know the Cowan Center's at? So right across from the Cowan Center. It's the one that fills up the most. And then things the students need to know. One, don't park in reserved spaces. People that have reserved spaces, guess what? They pay a lot of money for them. They're calling us to say, someone's in my spot. Don't park in handicap spots unless you are eligible. Don't park along curbs. Purchase your parking permit and make sure you use our overflow lots. So we will see people over at the lot 16, you know, over there by the soccer fields and everything. At the end, there's a little circle at the end, and in the grass, there's parking there for about 60 to 70 cars. And so we've been using that since about the first week of school. It's been a huge help in trying to alleviate some of our pressure from parking. We're also using the Behavioral Health Center across the street of University on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Between 8 and 5, we shuttle students back and forth, and it's getting used heavily on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The reason why we quit doing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is just because we don't seem to have the significant problem that we did at the beginning of the school year. But the lot 16 overflow is still relatively close to this building, relatively close to the HBC, several areas on campus, and we're going to continue doing that Monday through Friday as long as we need to help alleviate parking. Some of the other things we're doing is been working with a lot of the faculty staff that are hosting events on campus to try to limit the number of spaces we're coning off for parking. The reason we're trying to do that is because it seems like when we block off spaces for parking events, the people that are attending the events are picking a spot that's open, and then that spot will be coned off for the next 3 or 4 hours until we get out there after the event starts and bring them back. So those are spaces that are going vacant because we're trying to reserve spaces, but then there's nobody at that event to make sure that our people that are joining us are getting there. So we're working on waiving citations for large events instead of like with the career fair coming up this week. Normally in the past, we would be blocking off 60 to 80 spaces for them. We're not doing that. We're using the shuttle service to shuttle the vendors across the street. We're encouraging them to park off site. And that gives more access for our students to make sure that you all can attend class and get there on time and be happy. And, you know, lot 4 is always the lot that I see everyone wanting to go to. That one fills up pretty quick in the mornings, but adding that back has been a big help. And then obviously long-term, I know there's plans to improve parking on campus, adding spaces. I think the one that's been confirmed is the parking garage and adding another floor to that. So that'll help significantly as well. It's a ever looming thing because you don't want to have a bunch of vacant spots laying around, because if you have a whole bunch of vacant spots, it's about $10,000 per spot for a flat lot and about $30,000 a spot for a parking garage. So we want to make sure we're using the money wisely and building what we need versus having a spot available for every single vehicle that may come on campus. But really, the other part of this conversation we wanted to talk about was the parking and traffic committee that we have here at the university. We do need 2 student volunteers or SGA members that would like to serve on that committee. It's just having discussions related to improving parking on campus, things that we can do to maybe make things easier or get ideas and be a part of the decision-making process. And if you just want to reach out to your president and let her know who all would be interested, and then we can select 2 members to join us. And we meet probably, I would say, quarterly. We're waiting to have our first meeting until we get everyone on board. And then we just really need to work together to make sure we are doing what's in the best interest of everybody here on campus. But I'd like to hear from you all if you have any questions or concerns, things that you've noticed that you think need changed immediately, but I'd love any input. I knew somebody. It's parking. Everyone has a question.
President Okafor. My question is there a time service for when the shuttles come, like every 30 minutes, every hour? What does that look like?
So the shuttles are going back and forth every 15 minutes between the Behavioral Health Center and Lot 2. There should still be a sign out there that has the dispatch phone number on it. So if any students are experiencing longer wait times, then they just need to call dispatch, that 903-566-7300 number. And if the shuttle's in traffic or whatever, we'll figure out another vehicle to give them a ride back.
Hi, Senator Guerra. What is like the hours of use observed, like just be working on parking that are like the ones that fill the most, or the lots that you feel that are like the most popular, just so that we can start to look for maybe alternative places to park?
So in the morning hours, everyone's trying to park as close to the buildings as they can. So at 8, between 8 and 9, you're looking at 8, 9 filling up quickly. Lot 15 is always impacted because that's also sharing parking with Ornelas Hall. So the parking garage, the first couple floors fill up early. What we've been noticing is really between the hours of 10 and about 1 o'clock. The campus is pretty full on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday now there's still parking available. But the inner lots, lot 2 and lot 4, you're just kind of putting yourself in this cycle of circling the campus, because I can almost promise you there's not going to be a parking spot available after 9 o'clock in lot 2 or lot 4. Uh, what I would encourage to let people know is if you're coming to campus and you've driven around. I mean, the other day we were passing students and trying to flag them down and let them know where the overflow parking was. And people will circle campus for 30 or 40 minutes without going to those locations. So making sure that it's reaching out to all of the students, encouraging them to use those options, and that will help. But it's really hard to say. It just depends on the day, the class schedule. But lot 7 is a common lot people park in. Lots 2 and 4 get very packed. But usually there's parking available in the parking garage. And then once that's full, we're stationing that with a PSO or a police officer to make sure people aren't going up to the top just to have to drive back to the bottom. Uh, does that answer your question?
President Okafor, I think to add on to that sentiment on the student perspective, students want to be able to right next outside of their classroom. I mean, they're carrying heavy books. Say some may be injured. Um, is there any plans towards the future to having a shuttle service to have students be picked up from the overflow to maybe where they need to go on campus?
So right now, I mean, I wouldn't say there's anything in the plan specifically to put the shuttle service back into place. I know there's been discussions in the background about what options can we do, such as a golf cart shuttle or various options. Getting those put in place and staffing is the problem. We used to do a shuttle many, many years ago. And the problem is it was a 24-person shuttle and they had to have a CDL. So then they tried renting a minivan and driving students back and forth between Victory Village and the UC. And what we quickly came to realize is if you have somebody call in sick, now me personally, I was driving the shuttle several times a week. And so it's a personnel matter, I think, of trying to figure out how we can do this. And I think if maybe we can get, student workers or something like that to drive golf carts back and forth, that might be an option that we can pursue. But those are definitely things that on the Parking and Traffic Committee we can discuss and kind of outline more what that's going to look like.
Hi, Chief of Staff Burns. One thing that I actually noticed was that I actually have more trouble trying to find parking on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, because I'm usually trying to go to like Ratliff, Cass, like library, farm, anywhere kind of in that general area, not necessarily close to the building. But I've noticed that those are probably my hardest days to park because my class starts at like 10:15. So like if I get there about 9:15, a lot of times I'm late to class. And I was trying to like figure out what the best thing to do is that it seems like on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, all of that side of campus is completely packed. And then on Tuesday, Thursdays, it's more over here, parking garage and UC and HBC.
So that front row parking is always going to be an issue. You know, we have the faculty and staff showing up early in the mornings. We have the students coming in for those 8 a.m. classes. And then so those lots 8, 9 that you're talking about fill up quickly. There may be some parking still available down by pharmacy at the end, or you know, you have other options at the top of lot 7. Lot 6 fills up quickly normally because of nursing. You know, that takes up a lot of our parking up there. It's a large student population in that program. You know, what I always tell people is if you can't find parking, the lot 16 overflow on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we've been having maybe 10, 15 cars in there. So there's always plenty of parking there. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you know, we've been seeing maybe 6 or 9 cars using the shuttle service. And we're still keeping that going. But at some point, you know, if we're only having 1 or 2 people show up, then it's not cost effective for us to continue doing that because there's fuel involved, oil changes, tire rotations, all that kind of stuff.
Follow-up question. So does the shuttle service go from the overflow lot or just from the like the behavioral health center?
Just from the behavioral health center. The overflow lot is still on campus. Our biggest concern with the behavioral health center across the street is obviously we don't want you all crossing University. You know, we see students still parking over in the businesses across the street and walking across. And really, if you all could help us encourage them, park about 10 feet up farther on a Tuesday and Thursday and get across safely. Because that's our biggest concern is people, Tyler drivers, it's all over TikTok nowadays. You know, what's that song they do? Yeah, nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. And it's always Tyler drivers and wrecks. And so, you know, it's just not safe. There's been a major accident on that roadway not too long ago. Someone had a medical condition several years back. And I mean, the truck flipped over and everything. And so we just want to make sure y'all are getting here safely. And we're trying everything we can to try to make that happen. We just, you know, we communicate and I think it would help to come from you all as well. I think sometimes students don't check their emails very regularly. So maybe just a word of mouth, just telling, hey, Tuesdays and Thursdays, they have the behavioral health center. And on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, the overflow lot in lot 16 is still available. But yeah, that side of campus it's difficult. If you remember the first 2 weeks, I mean, traffic would get backed up for a while there. But we have officers out directing traffic, especially also at the north entrance. I was out there the first week over at the crosswalk at Liberty Landing. We started putting people over there for the crosswalk, especially in the mornings and about mid-afternoon, because we've noticed that we're working with the city to fix the timing on that so that when you press the button, you don't immediately get to go across the street. Because every time, like you have one student walk up, they press the button, they walk across. Then people don't understand that those blinking red lights mean that you can go as long as there's no one in the crosswalk. You just have to stop first. So they'll sit there through that. And then another student walks up, hits the button as soon as that clears. And now we've got traffic backed up to McDonald Road and onto University. So we've been adding traffic control there. And then on mainly Tuesdays and Thursdays at about 11:30, we have an officer on University that stops traffic, lets people out of lot 15. Just because when you have that big class release at 10:45, I think, all these people are flooding out of the parking garage in lot 15, lot 18, over here by this building, and trying to get all those cars out without directing them just isn't feasible.
Actually, I encountered directing traffic for the stoplight. I think it saved me like 15 minutes. It was great. And then the other thing, my last comment was that the block parking notices by email are really helpful, and we really appreciate those. I know that was the thing that started happening last year, and people read them, and we really appreciate those.
So we will keep sending those out. We will probably send one out tomorrow. There is some block parking coming up this week on Friday for the nursing event. And then also in Longview next week, there's some blocked parking for the opening of the other nursing building out in the Longview campus. So we try to communicate that usually on the first Friday. This week's been a little bit of or the Friday before. This week's been a little different because they've added a lot of requests during the week for these major events. But again, we're trying to limit what we block off moving forward. And the administration wants us to limit what we block off. You know, in the past, people would request 100 spaces, or if any of you are here when the Cowan Center a while back, they would used to request for the valet parking and it would stay blocked off all day long. And so you have 107 spaces sitting there vacant because we have an event at 6:30 at night. And so we've stopped doing those types of things to make sure that there's more access for our students. Yes, we're short on parking. There's no, so I couldn't lie to y'all up here and say we're great. You know, everyone can see that there's stress related to the parking situation. I know that the new administration is very focused on that in their long-term planning. I'm not involved in the conversation specifically as to what's going on, but I do know that there are plans to improve parking and transportation in and around campus. So it's definitely high on the list. Anything else? Well, I thank y'all for having me, and if there's everything that we can do for you, please reach out. We'd be happy to do whatever we can to make the student body feel like they're being heard, as well as make sure that we're successful, not only in parking related issues, but anything police related, anything of that nature. You know, we do want input. We want guidance from the student body to make sure that we're making decisions as a group and not just one person making the decisions. So thanks again for having me.
Okay, it seems that we can meet quorum now. So we'll go ahead and do roll call
Potentially. Maybe better.
again.
All right. Senator Bergera,
Present.
Senator Gasso, Senator Bevel, Senator Morris, Senator Ontiveros, Senator Otiocha, Senator Lubale, Senator Arantes, Senator Sneed, Senator Coburn, Senator Seeley, Senator Goldthorpe, Senator Yezik. She's here. Senator Muta, Senator Meyer, Senator Taylor, Senator Ramirez, Senator Hawley, Senator Sita, Senator Orajaka, Senator Smith Marcel, Senator Szilard, Senator Williams, Senator Larson-Air, Senator Guerra, Senator Lopez, Senator Benacourt, Senator Flowerny, Senator Muniz, Senator Sepulveda, Senator Parchman.
Here.
Is anyone here for open forum?
Hi, my name is Megan Folk. I am a current graduate student for clinical mental health counseling. I am here to you today to talk about starting a community garden on UT Tyler campus using research I did under the advisory of Dr. Fletcher Najori during my undergrad. So there are currently 828 million people who are food insecure worldwide. It was figured in 2020 that 3.1 globally cannot afford healthy foods. And if you look towards Tyler in specific, the Patriot Talon reported that the Patriot Pantry saw approximately 400 visitors in 2024 and are expecting a 30% increase. This fall alone, there were 11,000 students enrolled for fall term. That is a lot of students. And if you look on the Patriot Pantry website, the most stuff that they want is canned foods, to-go foods, snacks like granola bars, dried nuts, very preservative heavy. However, if we started a community garden on campus, we could go into giving them more fresh food, fresh vegetables, and things of that nature. Community gardens themselves are helpful, healthy, and globally used and can frequently boost the Tyler related food scarcity since about 15 to 18% of people in Smith County are food insecure. Using research studying Finland in school gardens, they do more than just gardening. Public gardens and community gardens are used for karaoke, yoga, and community events, which can go into using different programs that we have on school grounds to use towards a community garden and can take more effect from the event. The children in Finland from middle school to college age all participate in a community garden, and parents and the community are allowed to go in, buy the fruit, buy the vegetables, and work on growing just as a community and as a culture. If we take this to UT Tyler standpoint, we can then allow for people to come in from the Tyler surrounding areas and have more of a positive feedback, from just a political and a newsworthy standpoint. For Australia, there are community gardens across the organizations. Like I said, with the yoga and different stuff that we do here at Tyler, we offer goat yoga, but we could also offer partner with the Wellness Center and then offer community gardens from a mental health aspect. As they reduce social stress, they can help with exercise and with coping mechanisms. As the community garden sizes in Australia are rather large, we would go with something that is more of a standing plot, and I will get to where they should be located in a second. Looking in America for California, Texas, and colleges as well, the California Health Community Committee works with different areas around California to start up community gardens and start them with different volunteers and community partners. They look on doing it within family units, and there are often long types of waiting lists in order to get with a community garden. So there is need and is precedence for it. In Denton, Texas, about hour and a half to 2 hours from here, there is Shiloh Fields, which is the largest community garden in all of America. And they have about 18,000 pounds of fruits and vegetables that they release to the entirety of Denton, Texas a year, because Denton, Texas has about 1 out of 5 adults who are in food scarcity. Northeast Texas Community Colleges for the college also does research for community gardens. That's actually me up there. I participated in the community garden with pickling and harvesting. UT Austin within the UT district has community gardens to help within their dining halls and marketplaces. And then for UT Tyler today, we would be looking at doing raised beds and different plotting soils along the lines of around Ornelas Hall or around the university housing. Community garden could be very helpful and very efficient, and I hope you will help me in starting one. Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you so much, Megan. Okay, thank you so much, Megan, for that presentation. Moving on to committee reports. We'll start with SGAC first.
Treasurer Barnes, so last week on September 18th, we met with 3 organizations. Minorities in Business requested $188.32 in Chick-fil-A food items for their resume and LinkedIn workshop set to be held on September 24th of 2025, and it was approved for amount up to $188.32. Additionally, we met with the Black Students Association requesting $82.85 in CC's Pizza and Walmart items for their Wild 'N Out game night set to be held on September 30th of 2025, and it was approved for an amount up to $90. And then Tri Beta Biological Honor Society requested $156.42 in Chick-fil-A food items and Walmart items as well. And were approved for an amount up to $100 in Chick-fil-A nuggets and fries, and an additional $56.42 in Walmart items for a combined total allocated towards their event to be $156.42.
Thank you, Allie. Moving on to events.
Okay, we met last Thursday, I believe. And really all we were doing was midnight breakfast. I'm gonna be repeating myself a lot tonight. But the main thing we did during our events committee meeting was kind of lay out our order list for decorations and really just kind of bounce ideas off of each other of some of the things we want to see. The order list has been placed. I believe it was just or right around $150 worth of items, including, various decorations for our photo booth around the UC. I don't want to repeat myself too much, so I'm gonna kind of mention all of it during the midnight breakfast section.
Okay, moving on to student voice reports for the College of Business.
Senator Ontiveros, lately all students have been doing since it's the beginning of the semester is just getting acclimated to their classes and their routines. They do have one complaint, which is the most common complaint, which is parking, which is mostly Mondays through Wednesdays. But other than that, the building itself is having an event this week, which is Meet the Firms, and the etiquette dinner. And later in the future, I am planning on meeting with the dean, and that's pretty much it.
Another College of Business senator. No. Oh. I don't know everyone's names and face yet.
Senator Sepulveda here. I don't take any classes in the Souls College of Business at the moment, so I haven't really get the chance to talk to students since I'm the newest senator for Souls College. But I did email the dean, and we are gonna meet soon as well. That's it.
They're not. Oh.
Senator Larsoner. Oh, it's so much louder in here. I mainly do a lot of my classes online, so I did send out an email to a couple of my classes after asking my professor and just kind of let everyone know that I was there and what my role was. And I didn't really hear much back, but I'm hoping that just kind of continuing to push forward that I'll be able to do that. So.
Thank you, Senators. Moving on to the College of Education and Psychology.
Okay, hi, Senator Gasu here. So I launched a student feedback survey. Sorry, I'm reading off. Student feedback survey for the College of Education and Psychology today, and I've received about 10 responses. Half of the students said they feel connected to their peers, while the other half only feel connected sometimes, showing there's room to build stronger community. Because of it being exam week with back-to-back classes for most, students have been saying that they feel overwhelmed. However, they did suggest to start doing events like field days, study nights, or bingo nights to help everybody feel more involved. 75% said that they know about academic and support student resources, but actual usage was very low with only tutoring mentioned. Overall, students want more ways to connect, more engaging activities, and better awareness of their resources. So once I get at least 20 responses, I'll be meeting with Dr. Neil Gray, which is the interim dean for the College of Education and Psychology, to review these results and discuss next steps. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Moving on to the College of Engineering. Both our engineering senators are in honor, so they are not here today. Okay, moving on to officer reports. So this week I've mostly been working on midnight breakfast and getting our t-shirts sent out. Today I had a meeting with the School of Nursing, associate dean, and then also the interim dean of students, Dr. Maggie Ruel, and shared some student concerns on the housing side of things as well as the School of Nursing side of things. Next week, I will be representing us in the RFP process. So basically reevaluating our food vendors. And if you have any suggestions or anything to bring to me, please meet me after the meeting. Other than that, nothing.
Okay, Vice President Page, lots of midnight breakfast things. Really the highlights were kind of putting the orders together, trying to get our final plans, and I won't go. I'm going to talk a lot about midnight breakfast. Other than that, though, I have been emailing back and forth with Jamie Dowdy with Sodexo to schedule a meeting to talk about midnight breakfast with them. I should be meeting with them tomorrow at 11 a.m. If y'all or if any of the events committee members would like to attend, it can be interesting and kind of cool to see. So, yeah.
Secretary White. I have mostly been busy with creating the t-shirts. I did all of that. We got them in here last Tuesday. We got them ordered today, I believe. Yep. And then I've also been creating the flyers. Some of you may have seen them on the bright screens around campus. And then we did put up our second Instagram post today. So if you guys want to go share that, that'd be really great so we can spread the word. And I think that's it for me. Yeah.
Okay, moving on to old business. Does anyone have anything for old business? Seeing none, I entertain a motion to close old business. Okay, that was carried and seconded. All those in favor of closing old business, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. All those opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, that passes. On to new business. I entertain a motion to discuss. Okay. I entertain a motion to have a senator swear in. Okay. We have Kate here with us. She wasn't able to meet with us last week, but she's here now to be sworn in for the senator for Patriot Village. Stand up. And so how this goes is generally, you just place your hand on your heart and you give the oath and copy after me. Okay. I insert name. Do solemnly swear that I shall faithfully represent the interests of the student body of the University of Texas at Tyler. I shall dutifully uphold and preserve the Constitution and bylaws of the Student Government Association while ardently executing the office of for the student body at the University of Texas at Tyler. Okay, perfect. I entertain a motion to close Senator swearings. Okay, that was carried and seconded. All those in favor of closing discussion? Okay, thank you. Any abstentions? Okay, any opposed? Okay, that passes. I entertain a motion to speak on midnight breakfast. Okay, that was carried and seconded.
All right. So yeah, Midnight Breakfast is happening next week, on Tuesday taking place from 10 to midnight. At this time, I'm actually going to have y'all kind of fill this out first. So if you'll just scan this, it's kind of like a poll to put in like what positions y'all would like to be in. I can't guarantee that that's necessarily the position that you're going to get. But we're going to have senators stationed throughout the university center. Some people will be like up front and they'll either be doing kind of like the line right outside the UC. They'll be doing the check-in desk. Maybe we should have someone helping with our little photo booth area. We will have people kind of directing things down in the Met, running line dancing up at the ballroom, or helping out in the PZ. These are just kind of the areas that we kind of have laid out right now. And I'll have like a formal list whenever we meet on Tuesday, once we have our final counts in for the amount of people coming. The absence request for this event, as it is like mandatory, is due like tonight at midnight. If there is not an absence request there and you're not there, it will be counted as an unexcused. So please either put in a request or be there. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Speaking on, well, I'll give y'all time to fill that out actually, without me talking. Wonderful point. Qualtrics. Okay, we'll circle back to the survey. Okay, so for midnight breakfast, the tabling submission closed today at 5 o'clock. So if any of y'all are in other orgs, I hope they signed up. If not, they need to email me as soon as possible to figure out if we're going to be able to have them or not. But we did have 27 groups sign up. That's both student orgs and like departments. That is a lot. So I'm really looking forward to this. We also had 14 faculty and staff volunteers, including like various administrators. So we will not have to be working the main lines in the Met. I'm excited for that. It's a lot of fun though, getting to talk to people down there. So kind of the general idea, yeah. The sign up closed today at 5. Yeah, it's already closed. Yeah. Okay. So how many of y'all have like been to a midnight breakfast before? How many of y'all have no idea what I'm talking about or just have never been? Okay. So largest student-led event of the year. We are hoping to break a record this year. Last year we had right around, I think like the official count was like 750. We probably had more than that, with over 400 people being let in within the first 15 minutes. We're aiming to break over 1,000. So it is chaos in the best ways possible. So I'm really, going to rely on everyone here to kind of work together to really make this work. So to break it down for you, I will be on campus all day Tuesday helping the UC to kind of like direct setup because we will have tables everywhere. We actually have the University Center, really every space in it booked out for the entire day. So we are the only event going on that day. If any of you are kind of available to just kind of like drop by throughout the day, that would be wonderful. We try and get up like a little bit of the decorations, but we also can't be like, getting in the way of like the normal flow of traffic. Typically, we do clear out the UC like 30 minutes before we like, officially kind of close it down to actually do like our full setup. So I believe the time we decided on that we're going to require everyone to be there is at 8 p.m. We're going to allow the various organizations, departments to start checking in at 9 p.m. So we have an hour between the time y'all are supposed to be there to get set up before we start having everyone else coming in to get set up. Awesome. Okay, so to kind of break down some of the events we're going to have going on, I'm going to work to coordinate with the University Center to have their yard games set up out on the plaza. And like that'll be like a few hours before the event and also like kind of overlap, get some people out there, have some fun. Once the line starts forming, P2 Patriots Productions will be handing out some of their t-shirts. They have like a brand new one. I think it's gonna be like orange. It'll be really cool. They're gonna be handing some out at the line and then like some out inside the event. Just inside the entranceway, there will be at least 4 people at the front desk. 2 of y'all will be doing the scanners. We are trying to get everyone scanned in, faculty, staff. If it's someone that's clocked in at work for the UC, have them scan in. We are counting every single person for this event. Yeah, we're trying to break a record. We will have like 2-3 people outside trying to control the line. People like to skip. I don't want to deal with that. I will be out there personally dealing with it if that's what it needs to be. Because people do line up early. People will be probably lined up before some of us get there. It is crazy. Other than that, we will have the photo booth going on in the UC Theater foyer, and we'll have like one person over there so y'all can like, hey, can I take your photo for you? I'm gonna set up a hashtag on Instagram that we would love for people if they post on Instagram. Use the hashtag and then like we can repost it on our story and then we can do like a recap at the end of the semester with some of the different events we did, including midnight breakfast. All of the traffic we're going to try to direct upstairs immediately past the entranceway because it gets very crowded and cramped very quickly on that main floor. So we will have the t-shirts being given out in the ballroom. We'll also have line dancing in the ballroom. So we will have a lot of senators in there, probably 6 to 8 senators helping with t-shirts. And then Stuff a Critter, which will be run by the UC, will be up in the Eagle's Nest, which is like, the windows that like look over the main entrance? It's right there. So those are like the big main attractions. And if we put them like right next to each other, it really bottlenecks. So we're trying to keep all like the big things way far apart. And it worked really well last semester. So that was actually really nice. The Met will be serving, food. So I'm gonna have like a few of y'all down there just to direct that, like, hey, there's more than just these 2 lines that you see. There are like other lines that have nobody in them. Please go that way. So like we can kind of keep everyone flowing through and keep nobody waiting too long. Esports should be setting up something in the PZ. I'm still working with them to kind of decide what. I think they're gonna run like Mario Party or something like that. Yeah, nothing. I see you looking at me. Nothing crazy, just like Mario Party or something. That's really all the highlights. It's a really fun event. It's just like, we'll coordinate together and we're gonna do this. So MJ is making a banner for us. So if anyone is available to help with that, whenever the supplies come in, we're waiting for that to come in, I will let you know. Please reach out to me, reach out to her. and we can try and get on that as soon as possible. I know that was like a very fast, very kind of blitzed through everything. It's just there is a lot going on. Are there any questions or anything? Yes.
Senator Ramirez, I know we were trying to figure out somebody doing something during the day to kind of try to bring in more traffic for midnight breakfast. I think we talked about athletics doing that. Did we figure out if they're doing it and if so, what they are going to be doing?
Yeah, so that was something that President Okafor and I mentioned to athletics whenever we met with them a while back, with the idea of like, hey, if someone or them were to like host a movie on the lawn or something, unfortunately that never really, no one really followed through with that, unfortunately. So it just we're doing the UC games out on the lawn. I encouraged the Greeks. I met with them last night because a lot of them had not yet signed up, to one get signed up, but also to show up and show out because they are a huge like presence on campus. They do have a lot of influence, and like if they're having fun, other people come and have fun. Something that we're doing a little bit differently because we have all that extra space this year is that like in the past we've been very limited on space. Obviously, it is a lot of people in it's a big building, but it turns real small real fast. So we would limit everyone to these 6-foot table spaces. Um, with the university center expansions, specifically the upstairs one, that is going to be entirely the Greeks. So I spoke with them all, and I want them, yes, do your tabling, talk about why, they should join you, why y'all are amazing, but also collectively, present a unified front as like we are this, whole family on campus, come together as a whole and try and, put something forward for the students. So they're going to be bringing, their letters, they're going to be bringing, I told them that I would rather tell them to scale it back whenever they're setting up than to, go all out or, not go all out. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Senator Ontiveros, what kind of shirts are we wearing? Because I know.
We will be getting our midnight breakfast shirts that day. So we're just going to like give them to y'all. And if y'all would wear them, that would be actually really amazing. We will also be getting like name tags, like little like, hi, my name is whatever for all the faculty, staff, senators, everyone basically working the event. Yeah.
Senator Ramirez again. Do you care what kind of pants we wear? Like, do we need to wear like decent pants, or can we wear like pajama pants or leggings or whatever?
I'm gonna say in the past the dress code has been like typically what our dress code is here. So like jeans or just keep it. I'm just gonna say, use judgment. Yeah. Yeah. Just keep it appropriate. Yeah. Okay. Anybody? No questions? Nothing? Okay. Oh, yes.
What time will you start setting up that day? I have some afternoon classes, but not morning.
I will be up there probably all day. I'm not sure.
I guess what's the earliest time?
I will probably be up there by like 9 or 10.
Okay.
I'm really just going to be there mostly for if the UC staff have any questions about the setup, or if we kind of realize like, it's one thing to put it on paper where I want these things, but we might realize like, okay, no, this isn't necessarily going to work as well once the event actually starts. So any changes like that, and also just because I'm asking a lot of them, so I don't want to be them to be the only ones having to move the tables. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Oh,
No, I just wasn't setting up because I had some after.
no, it's mostly just going to be like the table setup early in the day. It's not going to be until later whenever we can, everything starts to kind of die down and then we clear it out that we can get like all the big decorations up.
Senator Guerra, I do have a question about all the orgs that are going to be in midnight breakfast. Will we have like a rule saying like you can't like set down, like tear down too early or something? Because I know that we may have people coming in later, um, like maybe in the last half hour. And I have noticed like when I've attended, by like that last half hour, we see a lot of organizations kind of like starting to tear down, and then it starts looking a little more empty. And I don't know, like we'll have something in place to control that or to like say like, no, please don't.
Yeah, of course. No, that's a wonderful question. I'm going to send out a mass email to all the signed up organizations on Monday, basically just outlining the rules and expectations. The main ones being that, hey, check-in's going to start at this time. If you're not here, by this time, that's unfortunate. We had an expectation. Also that, only 2 members will be allowed in early for the setup and, to get the shirts. A lot of organizations like to do kind of like tabling shifts, which, is wonderful. I want everyone to, enjoy the event, but at the same time, I'm not gonna be letting people skip this line just because they say, "Oh, I'm with this group. I'm supposed to be, it's my shift." That's unfortunate. I talked to a lot of the orgs, whenever I met with the Greeks yesterday and told them like, you're more than welcome to do the shifts. You just need to make sure that you're at the front of the line if you're worried about, not being there on time. Yeah.
Okay, Senator Ramirez, sorry, I think this is the last thing I have to say about this. I can make multiple banners with the paper roll that I sent you. There's plenty to do multiple if there's any specific ones other. Was gonna do like a circus tent type thing with midnight breakfast under it for like the entranceway, but I can do multiple to hang in different areas. If you'll just kind of send it to me, I can kind of make a template and then send it to you to get approved.
Okay, I can figure that out. Oh.
Senator Gasu here. I know the regular people are supposed to be entered from the front. Where would you like us to come through? Because there's going to be a line like at 8. So where, like, what entrance do we come from?
Like for the
For-
organizations?
No, not necessarily like for midnight breakfast, because the UC is going to be shut down by.
Oh,
8, right?
yeah, no, y'all will still be able to like come through the front entrance.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not like locking the doors. So, yeah. Yes, Senator Goldthorpe is donating paint, so that made it, really easy. Other than that, is everyone here in the group me? Is anyone not in the group me? Okay. We'll make sure we get everyone in the group me by the end of today. That's gonna be like our main way to kind of communicate throughout midnight breakfast. I might even look into kind of like breaking y'all down into subgroups, little group chats, just to make it easy and so we're not flooding the main group. I will also send out a poll tonight through the group me to do kind of the where you would like to be. That might be a little bit easier than putting one together right now. But other than that, any questions, comments, concerns? Okay. No, you're good.
I would like to comment that it still has no name section on there. So
Yeah, I'm gonna make a new one and drop it in the group me. It's all good. It's all good. Anything? Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, this is really just a night to have a lot of fun. Yeah, it's really just, at the end of the day, it's really just, this is for the students. So I think it's just really important to remember that, like, this is a, huge deal. A lot of students love it, and we'll have a lot of fun with it, I think. Yeah.
All right. I would also like to add that you will be able to eat breakfast at midnight breakfast. Everybody's gonna get a shirt. We're just gonna take shifts so that way not everybody's going at one time. That way there's nobody trying to do something that they're not supposed to. Anyways, but yeah, I did just want to let everybody know. I feel like that was a question that's gonna come up eventually about breakfast.
Yeah. I'll try and have something kind of laid out. It's really reliant on like when we run out of like t-shirts, for example, because that frees up a lot of people to start bouncing to other places to where like the people that were on t-shirts can go grab a plate and then they can go, bounce someone else who can go grab a plate and then, kind of just chain reaction through it. We just can't have everyone kind of like moving all at once. Okay, this actually we'll probably get a question about this. We're gonna be giving out 2 tickets, and like I'll explain which is for which that night. They're 2 different colors. everyone is going to get a ticket for t-shirts. Not everyone is going to get a t-shirt. The ticket for the t-shirt is an opportunity for a t-shirt. That does not guarantee they're getting a t-shirt. We will run out before the end. So that's just something that, like, there was one semester in the past where we were told, hey, we're out of the count of t-shirt tickets because we had like 500 shirts. We only broke down 500 tickets, but then we had a ton of shirts left. So like there's a half-hour gap where we weren't handing out tickets, and then we started handing them out again. Just, yeah, we want everyone to have the opportunity. If they don't get one, that is unfortunate. Yeah. How many t-shirts did we order off the top of my head? 800. That's a lot. Do we know what the cost came to? Okay. 800 t-shirts, somewhere around like $5,000 to $6,000. So, yes. Anything else? I really encourage y'all that if any of my events committee members are available, please come with me to the CEDEXO meeting tomorrow. It'll be interesting. So yeah. Cool. I entertain a motion to close midnight breakfast discussion.
All those in favor of closing midnight breakfast discussion, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. I entertain a motion to talk about UTSAC. Okay, that was carried and seconded. So this past weekend, Chief of Staff Burns and I were able to head down to Austin and represent the University of Texas at Tyler. And I kind of wanted to present what we talked about and some of the concerns that are being voiced across the UT system. So we kind of made a grid of basically our strengths and then 3 actionable concerns. And so in UT Arlington, they have issues with food insecurity and resources. But they also have a strength between the partnerships that they have within Kroger and the food bank, and administration transparency and career success. At UT Austin, some of the weaknesses they have is affordability and transparency. Something they talked about was they didn't have a tuition breakdown anymore, and it's something that they're trying to debate with administration. But something that they have a real strength towards is AI adoption. And they talked about how specific courses, professors can use an AI model to train them on how they can teach, how they will grade papers, and how they would respond to questions. And students can use that specific AI for that course to ask questions, generate questions, ask questions towards their professor, generate practice questions for exams, and generate content to help them in their courses. They talked about high career success measures in UT Dallas. Something that they're working towards is free speech. With the new bill change in the Texas legislature, they've been having some pushback among students towards things that they'd like to be changed. And some of the strengths that they have is basic needs like food security and having a budget breakdown. In UT El Paso, something they really struggled with was food insecurity. And they actually have markers for that. So they have surveys sent out biannually to students asking about their financial security, their food security. And this percentage is how many students who struggle with finding food. They have a food pantry, but they still have students who are in need. And they have a good international student support and some good educational resources there as well. And then UT Permian Basin, something they struggle with is communication on resources and accessibility to other students and degree plans. But they do have a high student satisfaction survey. They do have food security and they have a good career service opportunities over there. At UT Rio Grande Valley, something they struggle with is transparency and communication, which as I'm going through them, it looks like a lot of UT system schools struggle with this. And it's something that we're working towards specifically in UTSAC to address and make recommendations to the chancellor. So I don't want to keep talking, but I'll scroll down. Also, fun fact, when I went down to UTSAC, I realized that MD Anderson, the cancer research hospital, is also under the UT system. That's very interesting. Okay. Also, something I realized after talking to a lot of the UT system schools is they also have a specific syllabus. I forgot what it's called, but it's like core syllabus, right? And it gives them sort of like an AI breakdown of what is in each of their courses. And every single syllabus is posted and updated, unlike ours, which when you go on the website, you may not find an updated syllabus towards your calendar year or the semester before. Okay, and these are some of the recommendations that we're currently researching and we'll narrow this down into. So free speech, food insecurity, transparency and communication, affordability, and the AI policy. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, seeing none, I entertain a motion to close discussion on UTSAC. Okay, that was carried and seconded. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, that passes. I entertain a motion to talk about the canvas. Okay, that was carried and seconded. So basically with the canvas, I just want to make sure that everyone is aware that we have some quizzes for y'all to do just to gain some basic knowledge over the Constitution and figure out what we're doing, what you guys are responsible for doing as senators in SGA. So let me go ahead and open that. This is what the homepage looks like. Underneath, you can see the absence request form, which these are due 48 hours before each meeting, or in cases of events vary. And then also the SGAC request form. So if you have an org that wants to request money from SGAC, or you know any students who'd like to request money from SGAC, here's a quick link towards that. And then this is a student engaged website, and then this is the SGA website, and then Patriots Engage on SGA. And then it's just these quizzes, and then also this discussion post, which is just an introduction to who you are and why you're here. Please let me know if you weren't added to the campus as Canvas is kind of tricky with emails and then student IDs. But if not, they're all due by October 5th. So. Does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns? Okay, seeing none, I entertain a motion to close discussion on Canvas. Okay, that was carried and seconded. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, thank you. All those opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, that passes. Approval of minutes. So these are last week's minutes. Those were sent for y'all's review. So all those in favor of the minutes, please raise your hand. Okay. Thank you. All those opposed? And any abstentions? Okay, that passes. Moving on to advisor comments. No additional comments. So moving on to announcements. Midnight breakfast is next week, Tuesday. Yeah. At 8 p.m. And then our next event will be Arbor Day, October 18th. And please make sure to follow our Instagram as you directly represent SGA. So it'd be nice for your constituents to see who you're following. It's SGA at UT Tyler. Yeah. Our next meeting will be October 7th as Midnight Breakfast is on the 30th in this same building, in the same room. Okay. Does anyone have any announcements?
Senator Morris, I don't have a comment or announcement, but I do have a question. On October 18th, I'll be on a school-sponsored trip. Do I just submit an absence for that day? Yeah. Okay, sounds good.
I entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting. Okay, that was carried and seconded. Thank you, everyone.